What if the spirits of the earth could be controlled, and the warrior who mastered them vanished? Long before the kingdoms of Africa flourished, in the deep, untamed jungles of the Congo, there was a warrior named Shadow of Azulu, a man whose name was feared and whispered among both man and beast. Kofi was no ordinary warrior. Born under the dark moon, he was marked by the earth spirits themselves. As a child, he would communicate with the unseen, the creatures of the forest, and the ancient spirits of the land. The elders believed he was the chosen one, the one destined to wield the power of the spirit beasts. These were no ordinary creatures. They were born of the very essence of the earth, air, and water. The Aguzi, a massive serpent with scales of fire that could bend the flames of the sun. The Nganga, a panther who could meld with the shadows, slipping through the fabric of time itself. And the Tiara, a majestic bird with wings that could create storms with a single flap, and talons sharp enough to cut through stone. For years, Kofi commanded them, leading the village in battle, guiding them through dark times. But his greatest strength became his greatest curse. One evening, after a great victory over invaders, the elders gathered Kofi to tell him a chilling prophecy. The spirit beasts would never truly belong to a man. They were forces of nature, bound to the earth, and their power could never be fully controlled by human hands. The elders warned Kofi that one day the Shadow of Azulu would rise, a darkness born of jealousy and rage. If he did not release the creatures back to the earth, they would turn against him and destroy everything he loved. Kofi laughed at this prophecy, believing the spirits could never betray him. He had become too powerful, but soon strange things began to happen. The animals in the village started acting strangely, growing wild, attacking without reason. The trees whispered of a rising shadow, and the winds carried an eerie voice, calling Kofi by name. As the days passed, the spirits grew restless. The Aguzi no longer answered his call, its flames flickering weakly. The Nganga vanished into the shadows, leaving only traces of its passing in the form of shifting shapes. The Tiara perched on a high cliff, but no longer flew. The shadow was growing. One night, Kofi ventured deep into the heart of the jungle to confront the source of this darkness. There, in the cursed grove of the elder trees, he found a twisted figure, a creature that once was a man, now consumed by the power of the spirits. This was the Shadow of Azulu, an ancient warrior who had once tried to control the spirits and failed, his body now consumed by the forces he sought to master. The shadow spoke, "You cannot wield us forever, Kofi. We are the earth and we will return to it, or we will take it with us." Kofi, in his fury, called upon the Aguzi, the Nganga, and the Tiara, but this time the creatures did not answer. Instead, the jungle itself began to warp and twist, and the earth rose against him. The trees turned to hands, the sky to claws. The Shadow of Azulu was not alone. It was then that Kofi realized he had become the very thing the prophecy warned him about. He had overstepped his bounds. He had attempted to control the land's power, and now the land would reclaim it. With his body surrounded by the transformed beasts of the jungle, Kofi fought valiantly, but he was no match for the power of nature itself. His sword clashed with the shadows, sending sparks of energy into the air, creating brief flashes of light in the eternal dark. In the midst of battle, the Nganga appeared, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly fire. But instead of attacking, it watched Kofi, as if waiting for him to make a choice. Kofi's heart filled with the realization that he had to release the creatures, set them free, and relinquish the control he had held over them. With a cry, Kofi let go of his sword, falling to his knees. He whispered to the creatures, begging them to return to the earth, to forgive him for his arrogance. As the words left his lips, the Tiara took flight once again, and the Nganga faded into the shadows, leaving Kofi alone with the Aguzi, who slithered back into the earth, Kofi Azulu vanished that night, his body never found. The village spoke of his disappearance as a cautionary tale. The beasts returned to the earth, but the land itself remained restless. Some say that on stormy nights, the silhouette of a warrior can be seen wandering the jungle, his eyes glowing with the power of the spirits. The shadow of Azulu still lingers, watching, waiting for a warrior to rise again and master the creatures of the earth, or to fall victim to their wrath.